Hello, fellow Parkinson's warriors. Shaky Joe here. Today I wanted to talk to you about the SPARX protocol. That's SPARX. And this name actually comes from a clinical trial which is ongoing. In this trial, they looked at the ability of intense cardiovascular exercise to modify the progression of Parkinson's disease. The premise of SPARX is pretty straightforward. The only metric that you're measuring is your heart rate over time. And the goal is to get your heart rate up to 80% of its maximum for at least 30 minutes. There's a formula that you can use to calculate your maximum heart rate, and it is 220 minus your age. So for example, if I'm 60 years old, then 220 minus 60 would be 160 beats per minute. That would be considered my maximum heart rate. And then to calculate 80% of that, some simple math tells me that 80% of 160 is about 128 beats per minute. Now I've taken SPARX a little bit further. I'm shooting for 90% for at least half of my 30-minute workout. So my target actually ends up being about 144 beats per minute. The nice thing about SPARX is that there's really only one measurement. The only metric that you're measuring is your heart rate over time. But it is a scientific study, and so we need to have a way to accurately measure our heart rate over time. And what I found is that the most accurate way is to use one of these chest monitor belts. This is the MZ3 by MyZone, and I can vouch for the accuracy of this one. This is a chest belt. It goes around your chest, underneath your clothing, and keeps a very accurate record of your heart rate over time. And in a bit, we'll look at the interface with the MyZone app, and I can show you all of the bells and whistles of what this heart rate monitor keeps track of. As far as how to get your heart rate up, the original study actually used circuit training with weights. And what I found is that because I'm in relatively good cardiovascular shape to start with, it's a challenge for me to get my heart rate up to that many beats per minute just lifting weights. So what I've chosen to do is use an elliptical machine, which is readily available at most gyms and fitness centers. The nice thing about the elliptical is you use both your arms and your legs typically. So you're using all four limbs in a coordinated fashion. And there are levels that you can set, which enables you to get to your target heart rate. You can easily calculate your maximum heart rate by subtracting your age from 220. Here I am working out on a true elliptical machine at the gym. You can see I'm using both arms and both legs in rhythm, which is nice. Even if you're not in very good shape cardiovascular, you can set levels on these machines, so you can start out at a very low level and work your way up over time. Remember, the target is 80% of your total heart rate and keeping it up for 30 minutes or more. For those with balance issues, there's also a sitting down version of the elliptical machine. Other options include treadmills, or even stationary bikes. Here you can see the MyZone app working in real time, monitoring my heart rate. It's much more accurate than the heart rate monitor on the elliptical machine itself. This is what the interface to the MyZone app looks like on your phone. After you've worked out, you can go and look at your workout, and you can see I'll scroll down, and these are all workouts. They all look very similar, don't they? But they're actually individual events. So if we just click on one or look at one, you can see it gives you the effort. In this case, it was 86%, and that's 86% of my heart rate average over 40 minutes. and it says that I burned 626 kilocalories. The 152 is something that MyZone kind of created. They're called MEPs, or MyZone effort points, and these points are also based upon your heart rate. So the more MEPs, the harder your heart worked. If you click on a workout, you get further information. You can see my average heart rate was 148 beats per minute over the duration of the workout, and my peak heart rate was 159 beats per minute. And then if you look at this bar chart here, you can see I was at 90% of my heart rate in the red zone for 24 minutes. The MyZone app also keeps track of your workouts across days, months, or even years. You can see here in 2025, I did 121 workouts, burned 76,077 calories. And then this year to date in 2026, I've done 90 workouts and burned 58,270 calories. So as we've learned, the goal of SPARX is pretty straightforward. Get your heart rate up and keep it up for at least 30 minutes. As far as the frequency goes, I choose to do my workouts every other day. The SPARX protocol calls for 3 times a week at a minimum. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. It's hard work. But honestly, I'm more scared of the disease progression than I am of exercising. And so that's what keeps me motivated personally. It's interesting to note that although they've spent billions of dollars looking for a drug that will modify the progression of Parkinson's disease, they've yet to find one. And that to date, the only known disease-modifying factor that they've discovered is intense cardiovascular exercise. So get to it. I hope you found this video useful, and if you have questions, please feel free to post them in the comments, and I'm happy to respond.